folks, welcome back to our top 100.
That's right.
So I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And we are sharing our top 100 games of all time. And of course, this list can morph and change over the years, as has already been evidenced by some of my picks. Games slide and fall based on how much you play them, how popular they are in your game group, and how much you like them. Our tastes change. JT told me just a few minutes ago he loves Ticket to Ride.
Oh, wait a second. Two videos ago, I must have lied. Kidding.
But anyway,
that's true.
We are at our 60 to 51. We are in the last segment of the bottom 50.
Bottom half.
The bottom half of the list. So this is the last segment of bad games.
I don't think so. I can tell you when I looked at this list, because I haven't looked at it. I mean, I looked at it this morning being like, okay, we're going to do this today. Mm-hmm. And every single one of them gets me excited. So I don't know if that's the truth.
At the end of the day, this is a top 100. So out of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands, I think there's 80,000 games in Board Game Geek's database, something like that.
Sure.
These are our favorite 100. So these are all games that we consider top notch.
That being said, I haven't played all 80,000, so I could be wrong.
I feel confident. I don't know that much change would happen if I were to have played all 80,000 of those games. However, I would be much, much, much older at that.
That's right. I just tell you, every time I look at the next 10, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
so exciting.
We need to play these games again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it feels. All right, let's get to it. All right, my number 60 is a game that is within your field of vision right now.
Within my field of vision or theirs?
Yours.
Mine? Maybe.
You looked right at it.
Say.
Assassin's Creed, The Brotherhood of Venice. Number
Nice.
60, Assassin's Creed, The Brotherhood of Venice. This is one of those games, and again, it's been about a month and a half now since I made this list. I can't remember if V Commandos V Sabotage is higher than this. I think it is.
Oh.
Because I like the World War II version.
Yeah.
That was like the first love, if you want to take it down to the romantic slant. But this one is super fun.
This is very interesting.
I was not a player nor a fan of the video game. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice is a really fun game. I love the stealth system that it employs. I really enjoyed it the first time with V Sabotage or V Commandos when I first reviewed it for the Dice Tower. And when they showed me he was going to be doing an Assassin's Creed at one of the Essens a while ago, I was like, wow, that is like the perfect theme for that system.
It's really cool.
So
I haven't played the Commandos, so I couldn't tell you about the system, but that game's fun.
You've played that.
I said that game's fun.
It's basically the same system. There's nuances to it, but it's basically the same thing. That's my number 60, Assassin's Creed, Brotherhood of Venice.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
My number 60 is, I guess, my favorite two-player trick-taking game, and that's Fox in the Forest.
Ooh.
Fox in the Forest is a really good trick-taking game. Now, I like Fox in the Forest better. My wife likes Fox in the Forest Duet better. I like that direct conflict, fighting against the next person. The Duet one is a cooperative version of it.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, isn't Fox in the Forest a two-player game?
Yep, so you got a two-player competitive, and then they came out with Fox in the Forest Duet.
Got it.
Which is a...
yes, that word.
Yeah, cooperative.
Cooperative,
so, great trick-taking game. I love trick-taking games anyways.
Yeah, they are.
If I'm going to play a two-player trick-taking game, this is the one.
This
is not my last trick... Oh, this is not my last
This is like the first
game.
one. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Rest of the list, trick-taking games.
Never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Fox in the Forest. Awesome.
Very cool. All right, my number 59 is for me at least, the quintessential zombies board game that is Last Night on Earth. Last Night on Earth, I just have I always feel strange saying this, but it has a soft spot in my heart. At least I didn't say a soft spot in my brain or anything like that. It was not cheeky like that. It's just one of those games where if I think zombie game, it's one of the first ones that pop into my head. It's the first one that goes, bing, zombie game. And it's probably because it's one of the first zombie games that I really enjoyed with any real teeth, I guess you could say. I enjoy the campiness of it. I enjoy the cheekiness of it because it's taking all of those B-roll zombie movies from the past and just riffing on them. It didn't take zombies too seriously. The one thing that was kind of was the photography / artwork, graphic design style that Flying Frog used for it. They did that with a lot of their original, not original, but a lot of their games back then had that real photography / graphic design artwork to it. And that was kind of hit or miss for me. But the game I really enjoyed.
Huh. Interesting. I've never even heard of it. Or if I've heard of it, I forgot about it. I probably heard of it, but I don't know.
Sad face.
Sad face. That's all right. I've heard of my number 59, so that's all that matters.
Well, I haven't, even if I have.
My number 59 is Monsters on Board.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. You lie. Monsters on Board, Final Frontier Games.
Uh-huh.
It's a dice drafting game where you're trying to bring all of these monster lords, they're basically the dice, to your table. And while you're doing that, you're sending your little minions out through the town to scare everybody to create spook juice. You need spook juice for the lords. You're also trying to get Spider Jack to come to your party. And so you're leveling up the Spider Jack dice, and those will tell you how many lords in each row you can level. It's dice drafting. The dice, we always talk about how we like multi-use cards. These are multi-use dice. You take the dice tells you which grunts you can move. It also tells you what lords you have. They have to fit in patterns on your board. And then each dice has little icons on it, which will give you special abilities, adding or subtracting to dice, moving grunts farther, like all of these different things. So, and it's simultaneous play, so once you're drafted, as long as you know what you're doing, you do your piece, you do your bottom, you move on to the next round. So it's a lot of fun, it's beautiful, it's got cool little components. I know there are some complaints about components, just sizes and shapes. I think they're great. There is one little monolith component that moves down a track that's kind of top heavy, but other than that, it's a really cool game.
All right, my number 58 is a game that you have heard of. If you have not, we're going to stop recording now and play the game.
I've heard of it.
Kemet.
I've heard of Kemet.
Kemet. This is a really cool Egyptian mythology themed game, area control, and it's one of the first area control games that I really kind of latched onto, in which you could not just turtle.
Yeah.
You are not safe no matter where you are on the board, and that's one of the cool things that I liked about it. You could build up your part of the board, and you could make it as safe for you as possible, but you're still going to get attacked. And you're not going to be able to win the game if you turtle either. So that's a cool thing about it. Another thing that I liked about it is how you can make your armies that much different by adding different powers from the different cards that you could draft, adding different monsters to your army. Those were all cool things. And, of course, the miniatures for the monsters were just super cool looking. And the Egyptian theme just really popped with it. So I really enjoyed everything about this game. So that's my number 58.
Nice.
Kemet.
Very, very good. My number 58 is a Push Your Luck to the Extreme. Any kind of guess?
Push Your Luck to the Extreme. Can't Stop.
Oh, that's a good get. No, that's not it. Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Absolutely love the Quacks of Quedlinburg. My wife likes Quack-Squedlenberg. There is a point where if somebody gets too far ahead, you're probably never going to catch them. That can happen in that game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of really good expansions for it that add more stuff to do. The Herb Witches, if you're going to play with the Herb Witches, bring them in. It just gives you 3 one-time powers to use. It just kind of can give you the boost at the right time. But, we have all the upgraded components, pulling all those cool acrylic tiles and everything else.
Yeah, the acrylics. I remember the first time we really started playing this a lot with the Dice Tower, they had BGG, I think, was putting out
those where you clip them into
coin holders that you had to put because the tokens were just you touch them so much that they start wearing off. The graphics were wearing off, so we put them in coin holders, which worked, but it wasn't very good. Those acrylics though are really nice.
Amazing. It's the same thing that we talked about with Cascadia, though. Anytime you're going into a bag for something, don't go in for cardboard chips, because that sucks.
Yeah, graphics will
Other than that, Quack-Squedlenberg is a blast.
You know why ducks have so many feathers?
Nope.
It's to hide their butt quacks.
You heard it here first.
All right, my number 57 is a game I just played a new iteration of at Grand Con in Grand Rapids, and it is Carcassonne.
Oh.
Carcassonne. Now, I have a lot of Carcassonne. Is it right behind me? No, it's over on the side, I think, over here. But I have a lot of different kinds of Carcassonne. I have, I think 5 different iterations of Carcassonne, maybe 6.
That looks like 8. 8.
So I lost track. But I played a brand new iteration of it. It's like the mist, ghostly mists or something like that. Carcassonne and the ghostly mist or something. I can't remember. It's like, I just called it Halloween Carcassonne.
Sure.
Because it was really cool though, because you're placing, you're building your Carcassonne tile board just like normal, using the regular rules. But there's mists and there's like ghouls and not ghouls, like ghosts on some of the things, and there's only a certain number of ghosts in the game, and if you have to put all of the ghosts out, you lose the game. So you have to kind of use that against the game. You have to economize, I guess, when you're putting out new. Anyway, it was really cool. It was a brand new iteration of it, so I really enjoyed it. Tile placement for me is one of my favorite mechanisms. I'm starting to find out as I'm making more of these lists now. I'm coming back to it now, and now that I'm making these lists, I'm finding that many of the games on the list have some aspect of tile placement.
So many coming out, though. Too.
So I really enjoy Carcassonne. I know it's kind of vanilla-ish.
Sure.
After so long. But it is also one of those, for me, classics. Yep. Where I know I can bring it out, I can teach people how to play in 3 or 4 minutes, and we're off and running.
Yeah.
So the only wonky thing is scoring with a Carcassonne. It always has been, but for people to understand it, you have to play it a few times before you get it. But who cares?
Awesome. So really is it actually Carcassonne, or what is your favorite Carcassonne?
This is a catch-all. My favorite Carcassonne is probably...
If he said Star Wars, I'll know he's lying.
Yeah, actually, Star Wars Carcassonne is not that good.
Oh, okay.
It's not that good. But I had it because of Star Wars. I think South Seas is my favorite one. I really enjoyed this new one that I played at Grand Con, though. So that's my number 7?
57.
Carcassonne, the catch-all.
Very nice. My number 57 is the best game up to this point. I'm just kidding. That's going to get old. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My number 57 is Ethnos. I absolutely love Ethnos. Do you remember Ethnos? You don't like Ethnos at all. Ethnos is an area control.
Yeah.
You have multiple races that you can mix together for any given game, which will give different abilities to what you're trying to do. It's all about set collection and placing sets down at the right times, taking area control on the board.
Yeah.
I think the coolest mechanism in it is the fact that when you set down a set, however many that is, to put one of your chips on the board, all the rest of your hand goes out there for everybody else to pick from. So if you get greedy and you just start pulling a whole bunch of stuff and you wait too long, you are giving everybody a ton of cool things to do. So I love Ethnos. I wish it was better looking. There's a new game called Archaeo Society that's out that I haven't played. The things that I've watched on it make me wonder if I'll like it as good as Ethnos. It's kind of Ethnos plus a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But what I really want is a really blinged out version of Ethnos. But
when Ethnos came out, everybody was loving it, and then it took a nosedive, and I never really bought the hype for it, I guess. And I think I played it after its popularity dove a little bit, and I was like, it's okay.
I'll bet you I played it after the popularity dropped a little bit too.
Yeah, maybe so.
But yep, I hear you.
My number 56 is a 2-player card game, not trick-taking, Star Realms.
I endorse this product.
From Wise Wizard Games. This is probably I think this is back when this was the only product that Wise Wizard had.
Yes, I think you're right.
I think I saw it at Origins one time, and I played it at Origins way back, and I was like, this is amazing. This is an amazing deck building game. I love this game so much.
Yep.
And I bought a couple packs for it. I bought one of the playmats that they had for it, and somebody stole it.
Oh, the packs and the playmat?
Yeah, everything.
Oh.
So I had to go back and get it again. But I bought it twice,
Yeah.
that original thing. And then they just started coming out with more sets and more sets and more sets. And it's huge now. I saw it at Origins this year, and they have this huge box now.
Yeah.
That's like a carry-all for everything that's come out of it. And I was like, man, it used to come in a little pack that's like this
I
big.
think it still does.
It can, yeah.
My son kickstarted the big where they're all foils. All the cards,
Yeah.
all the sets, and they're all foils.
That's super cool.
It's pretty.
Foil cards are awesome.
Yeah.
I like them. I like them a
I
lot.
don't
But
wanna
anyway,
play with them, they're too pretty. But
yeah, that's true.
that Star Realms is a fantastic pick.
Yes, absolutely. I love
Great
it.
game.
My number 56, Star Realms.
Nice. My number 56 is a crossover. This is our 4th crossover so far,
Ooh, he's keeping track.
and that is
4th crossover.
and that is Nidavellir.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nidavellir
Good one.
is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Like you said, collecting your dwarf army to have
Mm-hmm.
the strongest dwarf army in the end, and you're doing all this through drafting and bidding.
Yeah.
Again, my favorite mechanism is the fact that you have so many bidding coins. You have 5 coins. 3 of them are used for bidding, and 2 of them you use for upgrading, so that you can upgrade coins for bidding later. So it's got some really cool mechanisms
It does.
in it. There was a question when you did it online, and they asked what do you think about Thingavalir and Idavalir?
Right.
I haven't
Thingavalir.
played Idavalir yet. I do have plan to get it, but Thingavalir adds stuff to it, and it's fun, but the base game is just as good all by itself. Yeah. It keeps it nice and clean. And
that's kind of
and
what
simple.
happens with most expansions, I think. I mean, some expansions try to
most
change the game,
expansions,
but most expansions just give you more stuff to play with. And whether or not you like it, who knows.
Yep. But Nidavellir, fantastic game.
Great. No, another thing that we didn't really talk about is the app that comes with this game.
Oh, yeah, for scoring.
The app for scoring is like, wow.
And it's crazy because you put in, like, it knows every card in the deck,
Yeah.
right? So you just put in which cards you have.
Yes.
And it will score them for you. Like,
Yep.
it's not I got 3 greens and I got 2 of these. It's
Takes
like,
all the guesswork out.
and as you put your cards in for one player, all of those cards come out. So the next player, when they put theirs in, all those cards are already gone. So, there's no double ups,
there's
no
like
mistakes.
no guesswork, no mistakes, no nothing. It's a super good app. So I forgot to mention it the last time, so
that's a
I'm
good
glad
call.
it's brought up.
It's a fantastic
So
game.
app is great.
Yep.
So that's a good pick. Well done.
Nice.
All right, my number 55 is a game called, it's a market game called Mystic Market. Mystic Market is a super cool game with really neat components.
Yep.
It has these little vials of different colored powder that are supposed to represent the little ingredients that you're trying to get in the market and all that kind of stuff. And then it has this really neat ramp where when you purchase something, you pick it up and move it to the back, and everything just slides down into place, which determines how much you're going to get or have to pay for each of those different resources whenever you're buying them or whenever you're selling them. So it's just a really neat, I guess you would call it a set collection game, I think.
It's definitely a set collection.
So it's just a really neat game. It comes in a little, just a little small box, smaller than a Carcassonne or something like that. It comes in a really small box, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's one of those backpack type games, but it's a little bit bigger than that. But it is still very compact.
Yeah. And the way the market works is really cool.
Yeah.
Just the fact that, like you said, if you're moving, you could be collecting blues, and that blue is right down there at the most expensive spot, and then somebody comes and flicks that blue to where it's worthless now, and you got this handful of cards, and you're like, oh, now do I lay down this huge hand of blues, or what do I do with them? Yeah, I mean, it's really fun.
Yep, it's a good game.
That's a good pick.
Good game. That's my number 55, Mystic Market.
All right, my number 55, I'm going to call our fifth crossover, although it's not technically our fifth crossover. It's a crossover with an asterisk, because that is Azul, Queen's Garden.
Okay.
Queen's Garden. I have all the Azuls. Queen's Garden is definitely my favorite. I don't think my second favorite is Stained Glass. And that was my favorite up till this one.
That was my pick.
That was his pick not too long ago. If it was just Stained Glass and if I only had the first three, I'm not sure it would make my top 100. It might be in my 80s or 90s. But Queen's Garden adds so much significant thinkiness to it. There's a lot more thinkiness in Queen's Garden. It's got all three of the first games smashed together. Too much. He says too much. I don't think so. But at the same time, if I'm going to teach it to players, if I'm going to teach Azul to people, I will typically teach with 2 or 1.
I thought you were going to say you're going to teach Stained Glass and then move on.
That's what I said. Stained Glass or the first one I would probably teach.
I see. I thought you were talking about players.
Nope, I would probably teach Stained Glass or the original Azul to people first. Most people can't graduate past the third Azul. And
wait a minute, what are you telling me? Trying to say I can't graduate? Shoot.
But, my wife thinks the fourth one is fantastic and that everybody should know it. And I just keep telling her that's not quite how it's going to work. But it is definitely my favorite. So I will count that as our fifth crossover, even though it's the wrong Azul that you put on the list.
No, you put the wrong one, sir. All right, my number 54 is a game that, shocker, has Vintage Retates artwork on it, and that is New York 1901. This is a neat little city building game that I wish that they had a 3D version of. I thought it would be a really cool as a 3D version, but it's not. But it still has really neat blueprinty type artwork on some of it, and then the rest of it is you're just building up New York 1901, trying to. It's been a while since I played it, so the details are escaping me. But it's a city building game. Vintage Retates artwork on it, and I've just enjoyed it over the years, and that's why it's on my list.
Very nice.
So that's it. I got to get it back to the table. I just got a copy of it. I used to own it when I moved up here. It's one of the games that I got rid of. Saw it at a convention. I think it was Dice Tower West, as a matter of fact. In their
picked it back up
in their flea market
bargain bin.
Picked it up. Yep, got it for I think $15 or something like that. So it's staying on my list. My number 54, New York 1901.
Very cool. My number 54 is slightly heavier of a game than that.
Slightly.
My number 54 is Paladins of the West Kingdom. Garfield Games, Shem Phillips, S.J. McDonald.
Just a little bit heavier. Not much.
Yeah. worker placement with a really cool mechanic to where you're placing multiple workers at the same time. So, and you have all these different colored workers. It's very multiplayer solitaire type of game.
Sure.
As far as Shemfield games go. It's probably the most multiplayer solitaire like that. But every round you have a paladin that's going to be helping you, and he'll kind of give you kind of the outline of what you're going to do for the round and kind of what your focus is going to be. Everybody has the same 12 paladins, which is really cool, which are shuffled up, and you only have 7 rounds, so you only see 7 paladins, so you will see quite a bit of difference between the players. But
is this the one that has a big thing out in the middle?
It does.
That everybody has to...
Yep, and at the beginning of the round, you're drafting a card that has, 9 different colored meeples on it. You're collecting those 9 meeples, and you're trying to... you're basically building out and starting to protect this city, right? You're gaining... what is it called? You're gaining... I can't think of the words.
Boredom points.
No, you're not gaining boredom points, but you have 3 tracks, and your strength and your conviction and those kind of things that are raising, which makes you better at this. But you're trying to protect the town. You're building walls. You're sending out monks to help convert outsiders, basically, to come help you. You can attack outsiders, or you can bring them in to become part of your tableau. You can also bring in townspeople to give you benefits. But it's all in this paladin basically helping you defend your city and beef it up so that you have support and strength.
I was really excited to have paladins come out way back in the day, and because I liked most of the games in that series. And then it's like for that game, he was like, "Oh, you like playing my games together? Nah. You're going to play them separately.
Yeah, that's
at the same table now." And I was like because the only way you really interact with anybody else is if you're like taking the spot that they wanted on that board out there, and that's really all you're doing. And it's a super heavy game on top of that, and it was just too much heaviness and not enough interaction for me. But I was super excited to play it. I played it at I think the Gathering of Friends. And I could not wait for that game to be done because it was just too much of me just doing my own little thing here. And, I would like to... Oh, you already took it. Crap. Let me tell... Okay, well, I want to do this. Oh, he already took that one. Crap.
Melissa, she loves games like this one. Maybe this one's this high for me just because she loves it so much, but therefore we like to play it together. But anything... She likes games where you don't mess with her stuff, right? She wants to build this big, beautiful...
And it's something else if you play those kinds of games 2-player. Mm-hmm. It's something else if you play with. But if you have like 4 people at the table, we would
play this 2-player. I wouldn't honestly bring this out for 4 players.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't.
Neither would I.
This is almost a 2-player. Me and my wife. That's where I like it.
I can understand that.
I don't want to play it with him.
All right, my number 53 is another 2-player card game.
Ooh.
And this is one from Emperor S4 Games called Hanamakoji. Hanamakoji. There was another game that was the same thing that was called the Geisha Academy.
You said Geisha Academy.
You said Geisha. No.
What's the difference?
Hanamakoji, you're recruiting Geisha to work in your club.
Geisha Academy.
Geisha Academy is where you are recruiting scholars to come to your academy. They cleaned up a theme that didn't need to be cleaned up, basically.
I was going to say, I like the first one.
Yeah. So Hanamakoji is one of those super thinky, I pick, you choose card games, and it is super cool. I remember when I originally got a hold of this, everybody at the Dice Hour was like blown away that I liked this game. But I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was a really great back and forth type game, and it was over in 20 minutes. Usually, unless you're really doing well at making sure that people aren't getting the cards that they need. But more often than not, you can pretty much engineer the right combination to give you what you need to win the game. And so it only goes a few rounds before it's over, and it goes really fast. So I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the artwork on it. Emperor S4 has a whole bunch of games that I really enjoy. They just, I don't know what it was. They just kind of hit it off with that company. But Hanamakoji is one of my favorite.
So this was on my short list.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. This one, you taught me the updated version. Was it Hanamakoji?
Jishi Academy is the updated
but
version.
there's a Jishi Academy something that added that other piece of the board.
Yeah. No, I get what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it. Geisha's Road. There you go.
Yeah.
Geisha's Road.
Yep. I wasn't so much of a fan of that right off the bat, because I like the simplicity and the depth of just the initial card game.
That's true. Understood. All right. That's my number. What are we on? 3? 53. Hanamakoji.
All right. My number 53. My brain is not working here. It just stopped working for just a second. My number 53. The reason why is because it says 53, and it's a 3.0 on Board Game Geek, so it says 53, 3, and then 51st State. My number 53 is 51st State.
It's too many 50s in there.
It was confusing the crud out of me. I apologize. My number 53 is 51st State. Post-apocalyptic card game where you're creating your settlement. You can attack and do damage to other people's settlement. This is a really tight game of gaining resources and gaining cards. Like at first you're only gaining 2 guns and 1 gas, and you're just like, how am I ever going to get anywhere? And every round is just so very tight, and just as you build out, I mean, it feels really good. 51st State is really fun tableau building, and I really like the components. I really like the theme. It works out really well. I've
never owned this game. Z loved this game, and so he had everything that I think has existed for it. I enjoyed playing it with him. I've enjoyed playing the game. I probably need to play it again to see if I want to pick it up, because I do remember enjoying playing the game, especially with Z, because he enjoyed playing it. And so when anything new came in, we usually tackled it. But
I enjoyed playing it a lot, and then I ended up getting the Ultimate Edition, which has everything in one box with all the upgraded components,
and all that kind of stuff.
Now my collection for it is complete. So
51st State is now complete.
That is correct.
All right, my number 52 is a game that I have talked about, I would not say relentlessly, but I will say ceasingly. No, not ceasingly. Ceaselessly. There we go.
Nice.
Because I've really enjoyed it. It came out from Yellow. It's a Viking game called Raids. When I did my Why It's There video for that shelf where it resides, somebody made the comment, "Hey, we're like the 2 people that still own this game." And I was like, okay, fine. Shot taken, shot fired, got it. But I've just really enjoyed I'm a sucker for games that have a great table presence, that look good on the table. They may not always have the best mechanisms and best gameplay, but I enjoy playing games that look good, even if they don't have stellar mechanisms or what have you. And this is one of those games. It's very simple, kind of, not really a rondel, but it's around, maybe they call it a track game, where you can go around the path, but you can't ever go backwards.
Yeah.
So you can choose to go all the way over here, but you're giving up going to all of these other places.
I still think that's a rondel.
Sure.
As long as you have to continue to go clockwise the whole time.
But the rondel isn't part of the board, it's the board.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, in all of the different places you can go, or different stops you can make as you're journeying with your boat.
Or like a journey
of Vikings.
Yeah.
So it's one of those kinds of games, and I've just really enjoyed it. And basically, you go around the board 3 times, and whoever has the most points at the end of that is the winner. And I just really enjoy it. It has great look to it. It has decent components, not great. You have little Viking meeples that you can use for your thing, so that's really cool. But I just really enjoy the game. Huh?
With or without horns?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
The
but
Vikings with the horns.
Yeah. Just kidding. Viking helmets can't have horns. Sure they can. Anyway, that's my number
fashion statement.
52. It's a fashion statement.
Nice.
52 is raids.
My number 52 is my favorite stab somebody in the back game.
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding. My number 52 might be one of my favorite zombie games. You said that zombie-wise, that other one gave you a good feel. This one gives me that. No, that's a good one. This one gives me a good feel. Dead of Winter.
Oh,
Dead of Winter I really love.
Yeah.
Just that, I mean, it's got that classic, you have to protect the fort, but you're in there with a bunch of people you don't know, and they could stab you in the back, they may want to steal some food, or, but at the same time, you have to go to the supermarket and risk being out there with the zombies, risk being bitten, risk losing your people for good,
And every time you go out, you risk getting bit. Yeah.
You risk it, and everybody else is like, please, you got to go over there and do that. And you're like, I know you're a traitor, so, but I still need food. Like, what do I do? So, I just love this game, 100%.
People were so divided on that whole semi-cooperative nature of that game.
Yep.
But the crossroads system
is
so cool.
Yeah, so cool. This may be my only semi-cooperative game, I believe.
This is also one of the games. This is one of the games where I think I like the core game, the base game, without all the other stuff that came
that's all you need. It's the base game. Yep.
So, I mean, all the other expansion stuff was cool, but then you played it and you're like, wow, this kind of gums up the system a little bit.
Well, really, they just came out with base game and then another base game.
Yes.
And then they tried to smash them together, right? So one or the other, just fine.
Yep.
You don't have to smash it.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
totally agree.
I love that game.
All right, my number 51, the last game of the bottom half. Obscurio is a game that I played after I played Mysterium. And Mysterium was all the rage. And then this game came out, and people were like, well, I like Mysterium. Well, I like Obscurio. And Obscurio is my game.
Yeah.
This is my number 51, and this is the game that I go to if I want a Mysterium-esque play. I go to Obscurio. Because Mysterium is just too much random guessing. Obscurio has much more. You still have all that guessing, but it's much more pointed clue giving.
Yeah.
The clue giving in Obscurio is much more pointed, but which works well because there's a bad guy in the group.
That's my problem with Obscurio. I agree 100%. Like Obscurio, the mechanics, the whole trying to get out of this place, the whole, bidding on the doors, all that kind of stuff, really works good. Way better than Mysterium, in my opinion, too.
Yeah. But you don't like the bad guy.
Until you come to the bad guy.
That's funny because your
my last one was this is the one reason why I already had Detective Club in. I really like Detective Club. This would be number 2 to Detective Club.
Got it.
And it depends on the group, and it's not a horrible thing, the bad guy.
No.
But I think the game would be great without the bad guy.
Sure.
So it's
I would imagine
really cool game.
I would imagine you could make some house rules to play without the bad guy.
Either way.
But
I don't mind playing with the bad guy.
I first played Obscurio. The first time I played Obscurio, and that night, I think we played it 3 or 4 times. Because it just went boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I love this game. And I'm like, Mysterium, what? At that point, I don't need to play Mysterium anymore because I have Obscurio now.
Very, very true.
So that's my number 51, Obscurio.
That is a great pick. Without the bad guy. No,
Oh, thank you.
I'm just kidding. That's a good pick. My number 51 is a newer game, not an extremely new game, and I am still waiting for my copy because I went in the second Kickstarter. Because I missed the first Kickstarters because I thought this was ridiculous and why would you buy a game like this? My 51 is Foundations of Rome.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Now what you just said makes complete sense.
Right? when the first saw Foundations of Rome, and you got this box and these cities, and I'm like, oh, why would you do that? Like, that's nuts. And then I played it a couple of times, and I said, how quickly can I get a copy of this stupid game? Like, when can I put this in my collection? Because, and now I have the second Kickstarter came out with the expansion. It should be coming out pretty soon. I'm really excited. This game is so amazing, and it's so beautiful, and it's way overproduced.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's so much fun to play.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
It's
I
so
would
much fun to play.
love to play it. So when your copy comes in, we're doing
gonna have so much fun.
I did see. This is probably one of the ones, and it's probably because the box is so freaking huge. I saw people like carrying this thing around at Grand Con, going over to play it, and I remember I think the last day I was there, I was getting lunch, and standing in the lunch line, I was like, look at the size of that box. It's like, that's no moon, it's a space station. It's huge.
I'm so excited for this to come home.
Yeah.
They did say, I will say, during the Dice Tower Spectacular, they said they're coming out with a version that's not the same theme, but it's the same mechanisms and everything that's less produced. That's like
okay.
A cheaper version.
Retail version.
A retail version with
Got it.
chips and
that makes sense.
Cardboard pieces and everything else.
That
So I
makes
think
sense.
that's going to sell like mad too.
Yeah, probably will.
I think it's Rome that they're doing or something like that. I can't
It's
remember.
not the Foundations of Rome. It's just
Oh, no. So this one's Rome. I can't remember what city it is, but it's a different city. But it's the same game. And with, like I said, mass market.
I have no idea.
It's going to be super exciting.
Maybe it's St. Petersburg,
Yeah, maybe.
London,
Maybe.
New York, San Francisco,
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
I don't even I don't know. I really don't know. My number 51, Foundations of Rome.
Yeah, well, with that, we're going to get on out of here. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend it with two blokes like us.
Yep.
We're going to get out of here. The next list breaks the top 50.
Boom.
Looking forward to it. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
See you later.